Welcome to the TMC Newsroom. My name is Rich Tehrani. Thanks for watching us today. We're at Interop 2012 in Las Vegas. On our program is Dan Tuchler, and he is the VP of Product Management of System Networking at IBM. And Dan, welcome back to the show.
Thanks very much. Good to be back.
We are thrilled to have you. Why don't we start by just discussing what are some of the more important areas of the market that you're seeing right now?
It's a great topic. If you go around this show, you see so much change going on. It's a time of just huge disruption in networking. Everybody's talking about cloud. Everybody's talking about software-defined networking. Major trends are shaking up our industry, and the reason is that what our customers want to do in their IT shops is very different than what they've done in the past. What they're trying to do is build up infrastructure that can be rapidly deployed for their business units. So we hear about that from customers, from all the vendors at the show. We think at IBM we have a great role to play in this transformation in IT. So some of the things we're doing is to help out, put the components together to build the infrastructure so it can be dynamic and flexible. We have a number of things we have to do in the network to make this easy to operate. One of the things we've seen with our customers is application developers and server architects get way out ahead of the network people. So they've deployed massive amounts of virtualization. They've deployed a lot of technologies to bring up applications quickly because their business units demand it. But the networking is a little bit left behind. And so now we see the software-defined networking trend to fill that gap. What we've done in system networking is a few things. One is we have something called a vSwitch, a switch that operates inside the hypervisor in the server. So now you can have a continuous network that extends from the core of the network all the way right inside the server's hypervisor or vSwitch. And the network operators can see the whole thing and manipulate the whole thing as one kind of integrated network, and that helps a lot in building up the infrastructure. So that's something we just recently introduced, and we're getting a lot of great feedback on that product.
So you think that's the future then? Software-defined networking is where things are going to go?
Absolutely. I think you could probably find 1,000 people here at the show that can tell you their vision of the future, and nobody really knows. It's a work in progress. There's a lot of maturation that has to happen to evolve to fit the need. But there's a lot of energy behind software-defined networking. There's a lot of promise there. One of the technologies that's going to probably play a key role is OpenFlow. IBM, together with partners, demonstrated some of the very first pioneering OpenFlow work. We had the first 10 gigabit switch that was enabled with this OpenFlow technology. What that does is lets you have an abstraction at the application layer so you can control the network. So now when a line of business application developer is trying to set up some new kind of business model, some new kind of application, he can actually reach down and programmatically control what the network's doing to support his application. It's huge innovation. So that's an area where IBM System Networking got out to an early lead, and we intend to keep investing in that area.
It's really exciting, the pace of innovation, isn't it?
It's incredible. It's incredible. We like, system networking, we're a small part within IBM. IBM itself, if the topic is taking workloads and applications and moving them around the data center, that's where IBM's strength is. IBM is generating the workloads. So we have a lot of cloud platforms within IBM, a lot of technologies for deploying and balancing workloads in the data center, and the network piece was missing. And now we feel great about being able to become part of IBM and fill that need to complete the story.
Now, cloud growth has been unbelievable.
It has.
I'm wondering, how is that affecting business? Now, obviously we talked about virtualization, and usually we say virtualization and cloud in the same sentence, right? They're kind of tied together in many ways. So I assume that's a big part of your business right now, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Every customer wants to know what our story is for cloud. Some are more aggressive than others in deploying it. But the things that they're being asked, the IT people, what their bosses are asking them to get done is just very different than in the past. It truly has to be infrastructure or platform as a service. And so they're being challenged to quickly roll out new kinds of infrastructure for their customers, which is the internal departments in their organizations. Cloud lets them do that. Now there's some debate about private cloud versus public cloud, and there's really a strong role for both. Hybrid cloud using both technologies seems to make a lot of sense to some of the larger customers as well. There's a lot of excitement around it, a lot of excitement about how quickly an IT department can turn out a new app or new infrastructure now as compared to in the past.
So what's next?
Next, software overlays a great wave of simplification because the network is getting so complicated. It gets a little bit fragile when it's so complicated. It's hard to work on it. So software-defined network holds the promise of being able to run virtual networks on top of the infrastructure and give a clean, simplified interface to the people that are using it. So we've made a major investment in technology called DOVE, which is Distributed Overlay Virtual Ethernet. And that lets you have your own view of a kind of a restricted space within the network where you can do whatever you want, and underneath the network is connecting everything, but you're not seeing the complexity. So it's much easier to deploy applications faster because you have this clean interface.
That's great. Is there anything else we missed that we should share with the viewers, or did we get everything?
We got the main points. There's a lot going on, but those are the main points. The aspect of it that's called plumbing, 10 gigabit is really taking off, 40 gigabit is starting to be significantly deployed. Customers are asking us about 100 gigabit, so we have to do that well as well. But the exciting new stuff is around software-defined networking and OpenFlow.
Excellent. Thanks for being here.
Thanks a lot.
Great job.